This video shows how we test. It's to kind of reassure you that things are not going to go directly as you expect the first time, but keep on trying at it and you'll find some successes and you'll continue to find ways that you can make mistakes, but those are just learning opportunities that help you move the designs forward. So when we were exploring different ways to do gearing, we first started with our small motor again. We connected a big spool to that end and a small spool to the other end. And so what the idea is, this string would have some tightness and then we'd be able to make those spin. Didn't work. So we put a cup on there to make the spool spin, thinking that the spool is a little bit bigger than the cup, which would mean that we would get more linear changes. They would spin at the same rate. The bigger gear would be able to move further. String kept spinning off, wasn't tight enough. It was hard to get it to work because every time that we overpowered it so that it actually rotate the cup, everything just kind of blew apart. So what we did is we upgraded the motor. What we wanted was to get more control and be able to use the setup a little bit more consistently. So now the rubber wheel is on the big gear. That makes it spin pretty quick. Kept falling off though, right? And what we ended up doing is putting these gears further apart so that with the tension, they were tight, spun exactly like we hoped. We try to decrease the power, trying to find a good speed to make these gears work. We're spinning that small rubber piece on the motor, spinning the bigger spool, which makes, for more action in a linear direction. Just a test, we flipped it around. What if we put the spool back on the big end? And it didn't spin. The tension was too strong. There's probably too much weight also on the axle. And we increased the power, increased the duration of the power. You can see it's trying to move. And then when we were able to move, it was just too much for the entire setup. So what we were figuring out through these tests is it was hard to make it spin. When we did make it spin, it was just too much. Occasionally we could get the spool to spin in the whole setup, but it really wasn't the best gearing setup. So what we went back to was the second setup with the big motor. It gave us the best gearing solution. So we were able to spin our small rubber piece on the motor axle, make the larger spool spin further away, and this would allow us to do a lot of different designs. If you check out the merry-go-round video, you can see an application of this extended testing, failure, learning, and eventually building adventure.
We encourage you to try lots of design, embrace lots of failure, just keep moving forward, have fun with it. Thanks for learning with us.